Howdy, my name is Daxio, and this is Pin News. And today, Howdy, my name is Daxio, and this is Plugged In News. In today's Pin update, we have the COVID spending bill has now reached $41K per taxpayer. And the second story for today is Pelosi now blames Trump for the crisis at the border. Let's get right into that. All right, for our first story today from the Foundation for Economic Education by Brad Palumbo. The title of this is Federal COVID Spending Just Hit $41,870 per taxpayer. Did you see that much benefit? It goes on to read, President Biden just signed his sweeping $1.9 trillion spending package into law. Once this bill hits the books, total taxpayer expenditure on COVID-19 relief will hit $6 trillion, which roughly estimated comes out to be around $41,000 in spending per federal taxpayer. So this is stuff that we're going to have to pay back in the future. The sheer amenity of this spending is hard to grasp. For context, $6 trillion is more than 1/4 of what the U.S. economy produces in an entire year, according to Fox Business. The COVID spending blowout is at least 8 times bigger than the inflation-adjusted price tag of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal. Moreover, the COVID spending bills have lost all huge sums of money to unrelated carve-outs, politician pet projects, corporate bailouts, fraud, waste, and worse. In the latest $1.9 trillion package, more than 90% of the spending is not related to containing COVID-19. Only 1% of the money, about $15 billion to $20 billion, is going to be spent on vaccines. Meanwhile, hundreds of billions going out to bailing out poorly managed state governments, Michigan, California, New York, budget holes that predate the pandemic, and $86 billion rescues failing pension plans. Meanwhile, billions go more to Obamacare expansion and subsidizing public schools long after the pandemic. Obamacare, great. The Medicare that never worked for anyone and didn't help out anyone whatsoever. Great. Goes on to read, for the same $6 trillion in expenditure, the government could have given every federal taxpayer a $41,800 check. Or, to think about it a bit differently, it could have written every American roughly an $18,000 check. Alright, and for the next story today, this is from the Daily Mail, and this is by Caitlin Corral. It reads, Pelosi blames Trump for humanitarian crisis at the border and says Biden is trying to correct the broken system as detention facilities overfill 700% and ICE sets up outdoor processing centers to deal with record numbers pouring in. I'm going to try and read this with the straightest face I can. Nancy Pelosi on Sunday blamed Donald Trump for the growing crisis at the southern border under Joe Biden, including a massive overflow in detention facilities as the president promises asylum for all those seeking it. This is a humanitarian challenge to all of us, said Nancy Pelosi. What the administration has inherited is a broken system at the border, and they were working to correct in the children's interest, said Pelosi. Pelosi revealed that there are 600 to 700 more unoccupied children arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border than there was during the 2019 peak of minor detention during Trump's presidency. And I think that means to say 600% to 700% more, not 600 to 700 more. Facilities are now over capacity by around 700%. Biden's administration is struggling to deal with the growing crisis at the border as agencies like Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Customs and Border Protection have become overwhelmed with the amount of migrants flowing into the U.S. by the way of Mexico. Biden finally sent in the Federal Emergency Management Agency Saturday as agencies resorted to calling for volunteers to help. Immediately after being sworn in on January 20th, Biden took all the steps to undo Trump's hardline immigration policies, including putting a stop to the construction of the southern border wall. During his campaign, Biden made it clear to the U.S. that he would accept all those seeking asylum, leading to a wave of migrants from Central America and now swamped in the U.S. immigration system. The administration, however, still refuses to call the situation at the crisis a border. And towards the bottom of the article, it also says, despite the humanitarian concerns, Joe Biden and members of his administration have refused to call the situation a crisis. However, they have admitted that their more humane border policies may have sparked a surge of illegal immigrants flowing into the country. So the title said, Pelosi blames Trump for humanitarian crisis at border, and says Biden is trying to correct the broken system. When Biden changed the system, and then it went up 700%, so if I do the math and you don't change the system, then it won't go up 700%. Thank you guys so much for watching, and before the end of today's video, here's the heartwarming clip of the Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like, drop a sub. Let me know down in the comments below how I'm doing, what I can do to improve my videos. And don't forget to stay plugged in. All facts, no cap. Peace out, boys.